Let's just restart. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're not going all in. Rather, we're going down a different route. I wanted to talk about a few topics. Some of those juicy streamer topics that people kind of brush over. Some people just don't know the answers to. And I wanted to go through those today. That being said, you know, I've only streamed off and on since August of last year, maybe. So I'm probably heading around a year. And obviously my growth isn't great. I don't have the growth of other people when they first start out. That being said, I've taken many breaks. And I haven't taken as many risks as some other people would. And those are things I want to cover today. I guess a good place to start on all this is something called streamer mentality. And I don't know if this is an actual term, but it's a term that I like to use. And it's something that you don't really know you have until you've tried streaming, if that makes sense. Because yeah, you could say, oh man, this guy's funny. He's got it. You know, this guy can do this because of the way he is, you know. But the reality is, once you turn on that go live button, once the camera comes on, I mean, yeah, you don't even have to use a camera, right? But I feel like there's a pretty big disconnect when you don't. So I think having a webcam is kind of useful. Obviously, not having that webcam adds a level of mystery. You know, when the face reveal happens, it's a little weird because you're like, oh, I didn't expect that. At the end of the day, it shouldn't matter, but I mean, I don't know. Some people have this expectations for what the streamer should look like, you know? And, you know, when they see that streamer, it becomes a little awkward for some people. I don't know why. Personally, it doesn't matter to me too much. No. I think a good example is when people play GTA RP, right? A lot of those streamers don't start with cams. I mean, I'm sure you could find like a picture of them somewhere, so like, does it really matter? But I know a lot of people are used to the streamer without a cam. People are so hyped for, oh, webcam, let's see, because they see their character and they expect their character to be a lot like the streamer themselves, but they're not, you know? And they see him and they're just like, oh, you know? So sometimes there's a merit to not having it. It leaves that level of mystery. In other cases, the person's just like likable, you know? Their face is likable, if that makes sense. A lot of people, when they start streaming, it's a whole different line because it's not just about the fun of playing games. I mean, it can be. Some people just choose to ignore the fact that they're on stream, which is good. But, you know, other people, like, it'll get to their head. And I guess the more you do it, you know, the less it just gets and you just do whatever, right? But there's also the expectation factor. And those expectations may not be set on them, but they have them set for themselves. Some people, they can't like meet their own expectations that nobody set for them. And when they can't meet their own expectations, it's a mentality destroyer, you know? You start to think, oh, I can't do shit. Reality, nobody's expecting you to do anything. They just come there because they like it as a content creator. And it's one of those really weird things in content creation that no matter how many times you tell someone, nobody's expecting anything out of you, we just like being here. The streamer's always going to set that expectation for those like 5 viewers that maybe do have an expectation out of like the thousands or whatever, right? I know a good example for me is I used to play a lot of A-mashing games in Mario. So like the Mario Party 4 domination, right? And I still like that. But an example of it would be how you know, I chose to stop doing that every single stream because it was exhausting a little bit, and it hurt my hand from excessive, you know, getting in there. And over time, I felt like I was letting people down because I wasn't doing it. But the reality was that a lot of my viewers, you know, they thought it was cool, but like they could give two shits if I did it, you know? They don't care. I didn't A-mash for a day. Nobody was complaining. And the other thing is, like, as a new streamer, when people recommend games, you know, it's kind of an investment. Where it's like, hey, if I play this game that people like, that some people might want to see, you know, I'll get people staying and watching. But when you're at such a low viewer count, maybe you're not pulling in the capital, or like, you know, you're not pulling in the money. Constantly buying those games that people want to see, and then not getting viewers, excess viewers from it, especially when you're not at a state where you're getting paid yet. It almost feels like a waste. Almost feels like a waste. Obviously, you're enjoying it. It's not a waste, right? There comes a point where spending a lot of money on something that's not giving back money, you gotta weigh those. You gotta weigh those. You gotta weigh it out. And you know, it's like if it's a hobby of yours, it shouldn't matter. You also gotta make sure you're pulling in enough money to make sure that it's worth it. And I know a lot of streamers struggle with time. So I would say that like streaming is almost like a bigger commitment than like your average job, because the way you get paid in this platform is not like the way you get paid for a 9-to-5 or any other job. It's all about what you do personally. And to wrap up with streamer mentality, the whole thing with the mentality of like, in a way, almost like you gotta have it. You gotta have it. I think a lot of streamers tend to be a lot like Summit, where it's like a jack of all trades thing, where he's pretty damn good at games, but he's also very down to earth. And you know, there can't be a lot of Summits in the world, you know. It's tough because it almost feels like all of the markets on Twitch, all the avenues of what you can make your stream about are like taken, right? You know, you got the juicer warlord, you got the chill guy that's pretty good at most games that he plays, you know? You got the skit master, or skit masters, right? You got like the politics streamers that are locked in. You got your hot tub meta, your comedy, your gamblers. It almost feels... That's where like the mentality goes in of like, even though they all exist, to be able to push through and make your own avenue. That itself is mentally taxing, finding where to fit. And then there's also the other area of like, you don't have to worry about fitting in, just be yourself, and if people like you, they'll flock. Right? But then you start to wonder, am I a likable person? You know? Like most people that are good people would consider, oh, I'm a likable person, right? In reality, right? In the real world. But just because people like you in the real world won't mean people like you in your content creation world, if that makes sense. Like you actually have to provide something of value to your streams. And just being a good guy in the real world, is that enough value, you know? People are here for content. A lot of people are here for something entertaining or just somewhere to chill. Pressure of too much downtime in a stream. It's like, something has to happen now, or can we just keep talking to the chat? It's a weird world because you don't know when to be doing stuff, when not to be. Eventually that type of stuff, I guess, will click. But it's stressful. I was gonna say it's more stressful for the people at the bottom than the people at the top, but you know, each has their own stress. It's like, does this person have to keep up with the times, you know? Does this person have to change their ways even though they're already big to fit in? It's like the Pokemon card meta, right? It's like, do I have to start opening cards because that's what's popular, you know? But there's a whole other side of Twitch or YouTube or whatever that they're not doing what everybody else is doing. They're still pulling in their numbers. The other part I was going to talk about. Just check. So yeah, passion. I think that like one of the best examples for somebody that has the passion, probably Ludwig, right? Like, it's very rare you just see him like be mopey on the stream, right? Or just like not in the mental state to stream. Seems always ready to go. Now, I don't know if now he's at the point where if he ever has a feeling like that, he just won't go live. Always feels like he's relatively there. Same with many others. But, you know, there's just a lot of people that, like, they have a lazy mentality, you know? They just want to get through life itself, right? Not streaming life. They want to get through life doing as like little as possible per day, be able to live or to be successful, right? Like, you know, a lot of people, they use like the stock market, right? They find a once in a lifetime opportunity, per se, and they go all in, they make it. That's it. They're done, right? Cash in 20K on something, goes up tenfold. You know, keep doing it over and over. You're good. Some people want that life. Some people like the grind. And some people, even though when they've made it, they'll continue to do what they like to do. It's all about finding the way to make what you like to do profitable. I think in my case now, and I think this is a case with many other people once they get into their mid-20s, is see, I still enjoy playing games, right? I say that, but you know, the amount of days that I just open up my Steam library, give a scroll, and I'm like, there's nothing here that's clicking my interest right now, you know? There's nothing here in that Steam library that I'm like, hell yeah, that's what I want to play, you know? I kind of have that feeling with Counter-Strike. You know, I still really enjoy that game, but I don't have it in me to play solo queue, right? I don't even know if I have it in me to do duo in CS. Like, I need at least 3. And I don't know if it's just the thing of having that social environment with people I know and my friends. Because I know a lot of people, they don't care. They just want to play the game, and if they play online with randoms, it's part of it. They enjoy it. For me personally, that lone route is just weird. And then that comes the point of, you got to make more streamer friends online to play with. You know, you got to find this and that. And some people will say that's a commitment as well, you know. They found their group. They find people that are right, you know. They are right. But there's not like a... they're not just willingly going to go out and search. And that's the hardest thing, you know. You got to put yourself out there, especially in the streamer world, to find that streamer group that you'll click with. That is definitely a hard part. And I think the other core part is the ability to manage your time. And something that people don't like recognize. You know, people say like time management when streaming, like you should be doing that because you're having fun or whatever. But people have other stuff going on in their life, you know, managing your sleep schedule, managing, if you know you're not full-time yet on Twitch, your work schedule, right? School, family occasions, family time in general. Trying not to get too caught up in Twitch, because it's a job where you're not around. You're usually not around the rest of your family. For me, it's weird. Like, I feel this sense of pity. Not pity, but like I feel bad. I know there's a better vocab word for that. I suck at vocabulary. But you get this sense of like pity almost when you go live, you know? And they're like, oh, that person's on lockdown for wherever long they go live. Nobody else can really talk to them, you know? Nobody else can ask to do an activity with them. It's a weird little thing that I feel like isn't really addressed. Like people will say, you know, if you want it to be your career, you enjoy it, it shouldn't, you know, in that case, it shouldn't be a lockdown of your time because you're doing something that you're passionate about. But, you know, it's just like doing any other activity where the task of streaming implies for you to be invested into it. If you're not fully invested into it, your viewers will notice that. Most people don't like that. Most people want the streamer to be fully engaged with the channel. There's disconnect. You're taking too much disconnect time. They'd be like, hey, this guy's, you know, doesn't care. If you show enough dedication to the stream, eventually those little break times are okay. That leads me on to myself again. How lately, in the past couple months, I've taken some pretty long breaks. That being said, you know, I only streamed like 3 times a week for a couple hours. And on each of those stream days, maybe 2-3 hours each time. And you know, there'd be days where I would round that hour 50 minutes. I'd just keep looking down, see what time I'm at. Around that time in the stream, I just wanted to hit the off thing and just relax, and literally just I'd hit it off. I'd go in a Discord with close friends. I'd just sit there and sometimes just do nothing. I'd be in such a rush to end the stream and then I do nothing, right? And it's not that I didn't enjoy, you know, streaming and the few people that came in and talking to. Like right now, I look at my number of, you know, the 1 viewer, and I think it'd be nice to talk to some viewers about this stuff. But in a way, I have to blame myself for that because I fell through with my consistency. And you know, it's okay to take breaks. If you're not feeling streaming, you don't stream, because it's just not going to be enjoyable for both ends. But in the past few weeks, I've only streamed like a couple times. It's because I know if I'm not in that mood, the viewers ain't going to be liking it. And there's going to be a whole riot in the chat with whatever that fucking emote's called. What is it called? The angry dude emote. What is that thing?
A few moments later.
Where is this? Did they get rid of it? No shot. Oh, here it is. The Swift Rage emote. That's what I was thinking of. You know, chat's gonna pull one of those. You're not playing the games they want. You're not going live. Like, Swift Rage, we want whatever. And then you just nuke the chat. Hey, fuck you. Fuck you, chat. Nah, I don't say that. I want no Swift Ragers in the chat. I don't want to see that Swift Rage wall, because I'm coming in on a mopey day. And I don't want to make it the chat's priority to have to cheer me up, because that shouldn't be their priority. They should be coming in to have a good time. Coming in to talk with a good guy, like myself, you know. I don't want to be the reason that they're not having a good time, man. That's not what I'm here for. It's just weird. It's just really weird. I personally think that's, you know, nobody should have to deal with that. No viewer should have to deal with a mopey streamer, you know. Yeah, viewers can be supportive too. Viewers can sure be supportive. I just feel very uncomfortable having to make them, you know, having to make them have to deal with that. That's just not right. It's not right. I don't think it's right at all. I'd rather wait, you know, whether it's a few days, a day, a week, until I'm in better mental shape to click that go live button. I don't want people to have to deal with a bad day for a streamer, you know? They wouldn't watch anyways, let's be real. They wouldn't watch. But yeah, I think it's very useful to just wait, you know. If you're not feeling a stream day, you don't do that. Wait a few days, you go live. But yeah, that's basically that on that topic. That is basically all of that.